Those who are already here may be wondering why it's not starting. Decided to give it 3 additional minutes, so we'll start in another minute or so. Those who are already here may be wondering why it's not starting.
Jai Shankar Gautam Mam.
Please Gautam Mam.
चहा घेताना कोण म्हाका रुची येत नसते.
अरे नाही I need. I need to sleep.
I know.
As I slept, as I said, I almost overslept. Rajiva told me 7:10. So somebody woke me up at 7:20.
Sur Korea Vatari. Yeah. Prarambha Pratana Gettari. Dakshinasya Samarambha Shankaracharya Madhyama Asmadacharya Paryanta Smarya Guru Parampara Shruti Smruti Purana Nam Alayan Karunalayam Namami Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhasha Krito Vande Bhagavanto Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyoma Vadyapta Dehaya Dakshina Murtaye Namaha Parigyanashrama Shri Guru Shankara Parigyanashrama Shankara Sadguru Keshava Vamana Krishna Panduranga Ananda Parignana Guru Sadyo Jat Shankara Sadguru Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahe Tejasvina Vaditamastu Ma Vidvishavahe Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. जय शंकर सड़ंके कार्यक्रम सूरकोट फूड है आज सकाळी we lost Kailaje Bhavan Shankar Mam, who's been such a pillar to our Math and Samaj in general. And Tashichi, we have lost so many near and dear ones in this second wave of COVID in the last few weeks. I request all of you all to join me in prayers for about a minute. Let's pray in gratitude for all that Kailaje Mam had done and pray for Sadgati for all whom we have lost in the last few weeks.
Rajiv Ma'am, unmute yourself.
Oh, okay. Did you all hear me earlier when I had requested that you all join me in prayer? Was I heard? Okay, I don't know what I did after that. Sorry.
Yes.
So, friends, it gives me immense pleasure to welcome all of you all for this workshop today. We have a global audience today, and that's because of both Mahesh Ma'am and the relevance of the topic, job search strategies very important these days when there is so much of uncertainty, and especially for the youngsters. So thanks to all of you all for making it a point to attend today. And I sincerely thank our chairman, Jairam Kamatkund Ma'am, who is with us today, who will be attending the event. Thank you, Jairam Ma'am, for being here. And again, thanks to all of you all. With this, I now request my fellow task force member of Chitraku Saraswat Network, Gautam Amladi Ma'am, to give a brief introduction of CSN, the objectives, and what we are doing to meet those objectives. And before he starts, I would request the audience, all of you all, to ensure that you all are muted. And also, once the main event starts, please switch off your videos also, so that Mahesh Ma'am gets the complete bandwidth for his presentation. Gautam Ma'am, can you please take over? Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself, Gautam.
Rajan ma'am, I can share the screen now. Okay, is the PPT visible?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Jai Shankar, folks, and good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Sorry. This initiative of KSA CSN, that's Kanara Saraswat Association Chitrapur Saraswat Network, was started with the blessings of Param Pujya Swamiji. And this is the mission statement, that we have to provide a platform for the CSB Samaj to pool the talents, resources, experiences in the community through interactions and initiation of advancement of profession and entrepreneurs for their material prosperity. Now, the main objective is to help existing entrepreneurs to expand their businesses and aspiring entrepreneurs to set up businesses. Very entrepreneurship development and having existing entrepreneurs expand their businesses. I'll focus on this, and today's initiative is part of number 2 that is shown here, that to help those employed in advancement of careers and get better placements, and job seekers get good placements. This was phase 2. So today's program would be an event under this phase 2 of ours. Now, money is not everything, but Warren Buffett says, make sure you earn a lot before speaking such nonsense. But so the idea is that we help fellow Banaps make more money. Now, how to do this? Through networking. Now, how do we network? Is through these 3-4 initiatives, that is entrepreneur club meetings, one-on-ones, one with many's. Now, knowledge updation webinars. This is today's is one of the initiatives under this point. And motivational initiatives, mulakats, which are with, I think we have had almost more than half a dozen of those with very successful amchis. Now, entrepreneur club meetings would be minimum 2 meetings per month. Then after normalization based on geographical proximity, there would be clubs which would be formed, and they would meet at a pre-identified location and pre-identified days, like initially on Sundays. But ideally in the long run, the meetings are held on a working day, where members meet, exchange information about one's business, offer connects, and ask for connects. The meeting would also include extended business presentations by 2 members, where the members speak for about 10 minutes about their businesses in detail, what they connects they are looking out for, what connects they can share, give and take. Now, one-on-ones are more detailed meetings where 2 people sit across, 2 members sit across the table, either online or in physical meetings, and talk in detail, because here time is not a limit. Time is decided by the members themselves. So the same thing that happens in a ECM on an extended basis with the limited participation happens. But the idea is to exchange information in detail, because I am a marketing officer for you, informal. And if I don't know about your business, then I cannot help you market your products or services. So that's we exchange information in detail and bond better. Now about us, like Praveen Kadlimam, as everybody knows, is the president of the KSA. Kishore Masurkar Mam, vice president, and is also a CSN task force member. Jairam Khamadkun Mam is the chairman. Rajiv Mam is the KSA MC member and the joint secretary who is in charge of CSN and task force member. Rajan Kalyanpur and Sunil Mam are task force members and KSA MC members. The task force members are Avinash Nemperli, Dilip Sheshital, myself, Gopinath Mavinkure Mam, Krishnanand, Kishan Chandavarkar, Satish Kulkarni, and Uma Trasi. And we also have a women's wing, which is called a Shri Gut or VWP, Women Entrepreneurs. The admins of that group are Ashwini Prashant, Nandita Gaitini, Simrita Basur, Uma Trasi, and Vaishali Heblekar. So now what people who are attending or who are seeing this can or must do. Number one, register on the KSA CSN database. There is, I think, I'm not sure whether the employed category is open, but we will have presently it's entrepreneurs, but the employer category will either there or will be made available. Then participate in KSA CSN activities and contribute your might to KSA CSN activities in any which way you can. Like today, anybody who's doing one of the activities here is participating. Prosper and help prosper. One up for Bhanap is what our motto is. Thank you. And I'll hand over. I'm sorry about my voice quality, but thanks and over to Mayur for the speaker introduction. Thanks a lot. Mayur, I'm through. Unmute.
All right. Thank you, Gautam Mam, for this and also for giving me the opportunity to introduce somebody who is vibrant. Let me elaborate why I feel that. I would like to introduce Mahesh Nileshwar Mam. Mahesh is a truly multifaceted personality. You'll come to know as I go forward. Against the backdrop of a degree in computer science and multiple IT certifications, Mahesh Nileshwar has worked and collaborated with various industries, that too across several countries. The industries and corporate he has worked with include banking, healthcare, finance, as well as community organizations. Very interesting. Mahesh Mam is also a storyteller and an expert at that. And he uses this skill to inspire his audience that includes a good chunk of the youth. As he says, and we're going to look at it, is he's a master at weaving song and story with insights from his 20 plus years of experience in IT and audit. I reiterate, he's a master at weaving song and story. So it's a beautiful confluence. And I hope we get to hear and feel that as well, Mahesh Mam. Mahesh Nileshwar doesn't just speak on job search. He lives it. Mahesh mentors with passion to elevate leadership vision and skills to new heights. Apart from that, Mahesh Nileshwar Mam loves traveling and he's deeply passionate about listening to different genres of music across the world. He's crazy about cars. So I'd asked him which is his favorite car. So he said, I'm so crazy. All cars are, make him crazy. So it's interesting. And he loves to drive cars, especially with some super music being played in the background. So these are a few aspects which I wanted to share about Mahesh Nileshwar Mam. Mahesh Mam is based in Toronto. Am I right? Toronto, Canada. And, it's a great pleasure to have you. I want to conclude, Mahesh Mam, by telling you and sharing with the audience, after reading all this about you, I sort of came across this acronym, a short form for your own name. And I want to conclude this introduction by elaborating on this acronym, Mahesh. Apart from the fact that Mahesh represents Shiva, Har Har Mahadev, it also means M for motivated, A for being affable, H being helpful, E being energetic, S for being spiritual. And H, the final one, is what we all are striving for. And you represent that as well as happiness. So to you, Mahesh, Mom, thank you for doing this for us. And I wish you all the best. And I'm looking forward to the session. Thank you so much. I leave it to you. I hand it over
Thank
to
you, Mayur Ma'am. Thank you, Mayur Ma'am. That was wonderful, wonderful. I always love, one of the passions is playing with words. So it's very important, and I'm glad you came up with an interesting acronym to my name. Please share it with me later. I would like to keep it in my files. And so, welcome all. Today I see a lot of people, my schoolmates, here to listen to me, people who I haven't met for 20, 25 years since I've been out of India. And it's all good to see you all. And I see a lot of people from Toronto and US here. Welcome. And today's topic is, as you know, effective job search process. I'm going to share my screen and start my presentation. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, we can, Mahesh.
Thank you. Thank you. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Shri Bhavani Shankaraya Namaha. Om Shri Matre Namaha. Would like to offer this presentation as seva at the lotus feet of our Guru, Sadyojat Shankarashram Swamiji. It's always good to remember Karmanye Vadikaraste Ma Paleshu Kadachana. You have a right to perform your prescribed duty, but you're not entitled to the fruits of your action. Today, as I said, I offer this at the feet of our Guru and all the spiritual gurus who have helped me to be where I am. I started my career back home in Bangalore with my first computer training at a small place called Computer Call near Cluny Convent, if people remember. And then I went and got my first certificate in basic computing. Basic was a language at that time with NIIT. I worked with Eco Computers. And I still remember my first project was to take a Eco Computer and a monitor and went on a bullock cart to a small village where a minister was supposed to come and press the return key on the computer to inaugurate a computer lab. I would like to highlight that it's important to get a degree, a diploma, a certificate, because I work in the IT, everything is related to certifications. So I have CCNA, ITIL, CISA, and I wanted a certification that's longer than my name. So I got one recently called CDPSE, which is Certified Data Privacy Systems Engineer. Yay, way to go. One more bucket list completed. As you all know, I work with seniors here in Toronto. And so I decided to get a non-industry certification called CPCA, so Certified Professional Consultant in Aging. And as I work with youth, whom I mentor lovingly, recently they have been very anxious and difficult situations where some of them have committed suicides. And so I started talking about mental illness and mental health among the youth. And again, I went and got myself certified in mental health first aid. And recently, 1.5 years ago, I spoke to approximately 700 kids in an auditorium about mental health. in 2017. Everything is not hunky-dory for me. In 2017, I had a very difficult situation where my email was hacked, and I was threatened that I will be sent to jail and I will be financially ruined. I said, let me find out what this is all about. So I went and got my private investigator's license. So these are my different certifications that give me confidence that whatever I'm telling is from my knowledge and experience. What is in scope for today's presentation? Importance of a goal. Why is it necessary? Job or career? We use these terms very loosely. So what is the difference between a job or a career? Once we know that, it makes it easier for us to do an effective job search. Out of scope for today's presentation is resume writing and interview skills. As you all know, Mayur Ma'am, who introduced me, had conducted a very, very interesting presentation on interview skills, which is available on the KSA CSN network YouTube channel. And for as long as resume writing is concerned, if you are interested, we might conduct another session, which is very important to know how to present yourself in writing. It is part of the effective job search process. I'm going to switch off my camera for 1 second, if you don't mind. Welcome, everybody. It is very important. One of the first effective steps is to dress for the occasion. So let's go ahead with today's presentation. And this presentation is very brief as we have reached the end. The end is very important in life. When we wake up, we always wonder what we have to do by end of day today. Do you want to have tea? Do you want to have coffee? Do you want to have just water? That is the end of that activity. So always have the end in mind. According to Dr. Stephen Covey, all things are created twice. First in the mind and then in the real world. Physical creations follow mental ones. You remember, homes are not just built overnight. First, they have thought about how you want your house, and then blueprints are created. To make your desires a reality, you first need to see and understand what their desires are. So, in short, to begin today's presentation with the end in mind is to visualize your life, career, or a specific project. As I said, Chak or Chaslari, we have to say, oh, do you want masala tea today? Do I want regular tea today? Do I want black tea today, green tea today, blue tea today? So you need to plan your project before you actually begin pursuing it. When you make this conscious effort, you take much greater control of your life and circumstances. When I moved from US, I went from Middle East to US and then to Canada. I used to work for a a call center, and I was the information systems manager. That's my first job in Canada, in Toronto. And as Mayur Mom said, and most of you know I'm crazy about cars, I had a Bugatti Veyron, which is one of the fastest road-enabled cars at that point of time. This is 2002, as my desktop background. And this call center was owned by a lady from the US who had multiple call centers, so she was pretty rich. She came to my desk and she said, "It's very interesting that you have a Bugatti Veyron as your background. I also have a Rolls Royce as my background." I said, I don't want it, but I want a fast car like that. And she said, "It's very important to have your goal in front of you, to remind yourself how you want to get there, what you have to do to get there." So goal is very important. And as you all know, we were talking about soccer, is a team game. Sometimes you score a goal due to a team effort. Lots of passing and back pass and again pass. Or sometimes you're lucky. You get to score a penalty goal where only you are in focus. Nobody else, you and the goalkeeper, right? So goal is very important. There are different types of goals because our lifespan is long. So I thought I will highlight different types of goals you can have during a day. Career goal, educational goal. You want a degree, you want a diploma, you want certification, you want to just learn. Read a book. Education and knowledge are two different things. As you know, you can read a book. If you don't understand, that means you don't have the knowledge about the book. You have read the book. Personal growth goals, financial goals, social goals, spiritual goals, which is very important. Relationship goals, lifestyle goals, health goals, business goals, retirement goals. So this covers the gamut of our life and different types of goals that we can try to achieve or at least plan to achieve. Dream big or small. Sorry. Dream big or small. What do you really want to achieve? Be honest with yourself. I dreamt about a car the day I landed in Toronto outside the airport and got it after 15 years. Even when I was about to buy my dream car, I asked my kids, "Do you think I should buy this or do you think I should buy the other car?" Because as you know, I'm crazy about cars. So I'm always comparing. And my kids said, "No, this has been your dream. You always said you wanted this car. So just go get it." So you have to be honest. I waited 15 years thinking. Every time the car passed by, I would say, "I'm going to get you one day. I'm going to get you one day." And design a path. What's the most direct route from where you are, where you want to be? So I said, okay, I want it, but my focus for the next few years is my kids' education. I want to take care of my house. I want to do this. I want to do that. So design a path and always craft a mission statement that encompasses your goals, why they are important to you, and how you will accomplish them. And fully commit to it. Decide right now that you will do what it takes to make your dreams a reality. We are all familiar with this picture of a cricket game. You see, when a batsman is out, the new batsman walks in. Do you all remember what he does the first thing when he comes to the stumps or the wicket, other than tapping the bat on the stones or little pebbles there? He looks around the field to see the field placement. Same way, whatever your goals are, we need to look around to see what is our situation and what kind of job or career we want. Why do we want a job? Wherever we go, wherever you are, it's money, dollar, rupiah, dirham. One of the main objectives, you like it or not, of everyone's life is to earn money. Earn money when we do a job. Let it be anybody for that matter, a coolie to a president of an organization. Everybody needs money. Let us all begin to understand what is needed to earn money and what is needed to be happy. Money doesn't make us always happy because it is never enough. I remember one of my uncles when I was a kid. He had a bald like me, and he had a few hair like me at that time, and he kept a comb in his pocket. So every few minutes he would take it out and he would comb his hair. And I said, Uncle, Mom, you have no hair on your head. You have few. Why you want to carry a comb? So he said, it's easy or it's difficult to manage when you have few little hair on your head or too much. When you are in the middle, you don't need a comb. So that was something that remained with me, and his hairstyle. So money won't make you happy. It is simply an illusion that money will bring you happiness. Study after study confirm it, and so does experience. Some of the most joyful people I know are far from wealthy, and some of the wealthiest people I know are far from joy. When I was growing up in Bangalore, Touchwood, I had friends who were in university at that time, and I was in high school, college. But they came from very smart kids, very rich families. And I know who was happy and who was not happy. So money doesn't make you always happy. Money, certainly, there is a measure of stability and security. My parents always used to say, "Lagna korchasla ri, first ghar gaya." Matta, you need a roof over your head before you decide to get married. They never said you need a bank balance of 20,000 rupees or 30,000 rupees. You need a house, you need a building that gives you stability, roof over your head, and that gives you security. And most of the time, if you really look back, we need so much less than we think we need. And the earlier we stop assuming more money will make us happy, the sooner we can start finding happiness today. So let's talk about the main topic, job or career. When I was growing up, I always knew about a job. Papa कौन सा क्या काम करते हैं तो कल काम करता निम्मप्पा ಏನ್ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಉಂಗಪ್ಪ ಎನ್ನ ವೇಲೆ ಸೇರಾಂಗ. Everything, vale, kam, job, it always related to a job. He was a career. He had a career in banking, but we never thought about it that way. You think about your mom. Did she have a job? Would you call it a job? No, she had a career. She was a housewife or a homemaker, and her day was divided into lots of little jobs: cooking, taking care of the house, care for our children, our education, wake us up, go to school, remind us to study in the evening, take care of our health, and overall family well-being. So that's the career part. And whenever we previously, we referred it what dads did to a job. So let's understand what's the difference between a job and a career. A job is an activity that an individual does to fuel his livelihood. So a job is work you perform to earn money to support your basic needs. It can be full-time, part-time, maybe short-term. You might need to learn certain skills connected with that role, but not all jobs require a specialized degree or advanced training. Companies expect their employees to perform their individual jobs in exchange for regular payment and to be responsible for the duties laid out for them. So you get paid for what you do. After completing education, most of the youngsters want to get a good job. After 2-3 years, they change and they move on. So every job earns an hourly wage or a salary with benefits. You could take up a job due to a situation. So in 2005, I went to the US to work for PricewaterhouseCoopers in Boston. In 2006, there was a situation at my home where I couldn't stay far away. I couldn't travel. So I needed a job that was 9 to 5 and be close to home. So what did I do? I came back and took up a job with a bank. I didn't like it. I didn't like it a little bit. But I knew the issue I had at home will go away one day. Until then, I have to put my head down and do the job. So I stuck for 2 years doing a job that I didn't like, going to work every day, not happy, but had to do it because of a situation. So there could be many like that. You might have faced situations in your life where you had to take up a job. And you could take up a job due to peer or family pressure. Oh, tagal putu ta bank antasara, tuai bank joins. You go and work there because my neighbor's son is also working there. Or your cousin is doing this in that area, so go and do that. Mom, I haven't studied that. No problem, you will learn in the job, go do it. So those are jobs that you could take up due to peer or family pressure. I know nowadays the situation has changed, but still, I'm sure there is when in certain situations where you're forced to take up that job, right? So if you're a doctor's son, your father wants you to be a doctor, even if you don't want to be a doctor. So I had a friend in Bangalore. They had a hospital in Jayanagara, and 3 of his brothers were doctors, and his father was a doctor. He was the last one. So he said, I don't want to be a doctor. I want to be in IT. So it was a fight. It was a struggle for him. And I remember even now how difficult that family pressure was on him to do something that he wanted to do for himself. Ultimately, he did it and he's very successful in the IT industry, but there was family pressure initially till he proved himself that he can stand on his own legs. What is a career? A career is a long-term professional journey you may determine based on your passions. Passion is the word that's most important. It is the path you embark upon to fulfill your professional goals or personal goals, as you had seen in the previous slide about the different goals and ambitions. You may require a certain level of education or training or continuous education and training. So you need to be a degree, undergraduate, then master's, then whatever. So it needs to be a continuous education to achieve these goals. Individual pursuing careers often have set salaries with benefits. So you will have a constant job with benefits and stock options, retirement plans, pensions, and bonus. They also gain benefits beyond money, personal pride, work satisfaction. And when you're working with a goal in mind, you realize what is your self-worth. A career might last for your entire life, as I said about my dad. You could hold numerous jobs under many employers in your chosen industry that you progress through during your career. So let's just compare briefly. A job is an activity or task performed by an individual to earn livelihood. A career can be defined as a journey of a work life of an individual. The easiest way to understand is the next one. What is it? Trip and a journey. A trip, you could just go to a park, come back. You could go to a grocery store and come back. Journey is many, many trips together make a journey or a long trip. So duration is short term, career is long term. So requires education and other skills, training in specific field. Sorry. Getting a job is only one step to building a career. So that is the first step. Oh, sorry. Let us look at some careers and related jobs. Now that we understand, I hope you all do, the difference between a career and a job, let us look at some examples. Pictorial examples make us remember more than words. And please note, this is only a brief list of careers and jobs. Career in accountancy, banking, and finance, which is very popular, very common to our community because we have stalwarts in the accountancy, banking, and finance industry. So you could have a career in accountancy, banking, and finance, or you could have a career in engineering and manufacturing, engineers, right? So, which is also very popular. Career in healthcare, doctors, veterinarians, pathologists, different. IT. IT is one of the most sought after and highly employable advanced sector in the whole world, as it provides billions of jobs. Career in media and internet. So I could have combined information technology and internet and media, but I separated it because I wanted to highlight on jobs that are related to television, journalism, publishing, and film industry, as we have some good film directors that are in our community. And journalism and publishing, Mayur, I think, has published a book, and he's working on his second one. So that's a career too. So now let's look at jobs in detail based on the different careers. Banking or accounting, you have a CA, CPA, auditor. Banking, you have cashier, teller, banker, investment banker. Companies generally hire graduates who are efficient in demonstrating numeracy and have good analytical skills. Employment opportunities in financial industries can be are these ones. Engineering, you have jobs is one of the largest sectors in engineering and manufacturing to a large number of people. This sector deals with research, design, develop new machines, equipment, technology. So you have a biomedical engineer, chemical engineer, systems engineer, aerospace engineer, nuclear engineer. Sorry. Then we have career in healthcare. Healthcare is a choice of many. It provides financial security and inner satisfaction because with a healthcare job, you can make a positive difference in the lives of others. So there are a variety of jobs like a general practitioner, anesthetist. I think I spelled anesthetist wrong, but anyway, acupuncturist, cardiologist, clinical radiologist, dentist. Sorry. Jobs in information technology, systems engineer, developer, database analyst, forensic analyst, IT auditor, cybersecurity, games developer, a big field in today's IT. Career in media and the internet. Jobs in media, broadcast engineer, editor, film video, magazine journalist, technical author, sound technician. This sector provides jobs to people who are interested in working with television, journalism, publishing, and film industry. So, career needs education, skills, vision, interests, values, goals. Are you all awake? I hope so.
Very much so.
Thank you. Thank you. Some of the quotes: don't be satisfied with stories, how things have gone with others. Unfold your own myth. So one of the most important things in life, be it job, be it career, be it life, don't compare yourself to others as you are different. I was at an interview in 2013. I had just finished my SAP course and I went to Deloitte and Touche for an interview. And they had a team of 300 people working on SAP. And the director who was interviewing me, it was my final interview, asked me, amongst the 300 people, if somebody asked me, who is Mahesh? How do I describe you? That stayed with me. He wanted me to do something that stands out. So do something extraordinary in a small way. Satisfaction that at night, when you close your eyes, you feel you've achieved something. Big or small doesn't matter. We always go after things. Steve Jobs invented a product which he thought nobody's going to use it, but he said everybody will want it. And today we have so many products from Apple in our house. That is how he stood out. That's how what his vision was. So be unique, be different. What someone may lack in talent can be more than made up for in self-motivation, self-direction, and follow through. There are some days when you wake up, you want to conquer the world. There are some days when you wake up, you don't want to do anything. Again, the end goal is not to do anything. So even if you want to be positive or negative, there has to be an end goal. So always remember the goalpost. A lot of us, for instance, are very good at our jobs, but absolutely hopeless at job interviews. So I can help you in identifying a job. I can help you searching for a job. I can help you tailoring your resume to that job. With that, I can assure you that the recruiter will call you for an interview. That is where my role stops. When you go for the interview, it is you and the interviewer. So you could be absolutely wonderful person with many, many degrees, but if you can't cross that job interview phase, you are toast. So job, what is a job? A paid position of regular employment. Job work is loosely used term. The job is one of the best and common sources of income to earn the livelihood around the world. That is why, as I said, most youngsters join jobs just after completing their education, or even during education. Here in North America, it's very common. Now I'm sure it's pretty common in India too, where even during education, they take up small jobs so that they can pay off their university fees or their room rent or pocket money. So these are all jobs that they do to earn some income and gain some experience and get independent and settle down as soon as possible. With the prices of houses around the world, I don't think so, but one day. So we start with, we have 10 more minutes, I guess. Strategies for a successful job search. Search for the right job. Use the job search engine, monster.ca, monster.com, monster.co.in. There might be so many sub search engines I'm not sure of, but this is one of the common ones that we use. Keywords that match your interest and the location where you want to work. Narrowing your search criteria will save time, help you focus on your job search, and give you highly relevant job listings for you to look at. So we start with the 6-step job search process. The first one is to identify your target. Step 2 is create a compelling marketing campaign. You have to sell yourself. You have to sell your ambitions. You have to sell your goal. Step 3, research. Research about the company, research about the kind of job you want. What are the other people in this job doing? Are they happy? Are they sad? How are they doing? Step 4, interviewing skills. Improve on interviewing skills. Step 5, staying motivated. You sent 20 resumes, nobody called you. What do you do the next day? You still continue to search for the job. Step 6 is the final and happy ending when you negotiate and get the job and close the job offer. So step 1, as I said, you identify the industry that you want to work. Accounting, information technology, healthcare. What function do you want to be? Do you want to be an accountant? Do you want to be a veterinarian? Do you want to work? Do you want to work far away from your house? You want to work close by to your house? So geography is important. You work in the USA, you want to work in Canada, you want to work in India. So that's geography. Customize your resume and cover letter. It's important to take the time to write targeted resumes and cover letters that specifically link your qualification to the hiring criteria for the jobs you're applying. So the way I work, or the way I tell people to do, download the job description, read it a couple of times, walk away, do something else, make some tea, come back, read it again. See, highlight the points that match your skills and highlight them. So the hiring manager will be able to see at a glance how you are qualified for the job. Remember, nobody has the time. If I start writing my resume from day one, my resume is 7 pages long. Nobody has the time to read it. But if I want to highlight, I can highlight within 3 sentences. And so that the hiring manager his eyes will focus on what he's looking for. So customizing a resume and a cover letter is very important. And I will show you later, if we have the time, how I have organized myself on my laptop, how my resumes are organized. So the second step, as I said, is resume. So we go forward. And step 3 is research. Research is mostly undervalued in the job search, is because if you don't know what the company does, how will you be happy working there? So recruiters often complain that candidates come into interviews with little knowledge of the position, organization, and industry for which they are interviewing. So are you guilty of little too research? Yes, at times. You need to know why they are hiring. Is it a new position? Was somebody fired? Did somebody leave? Is somebody on maternity leave? You need to know why they are hiring so that you can come and say, I can do better than this person, or this is a new position. This is my dream for this organization. I want to bring in all these changes. So mostly at the end of the interview here, they ask you a question. What do you know about our organization? So you need to be prepared. Use your network. Networking is still the way most people find jobs. It's very important. LinkedIn is one of the professional networks where you can network with people in the different industry and learn about their organization, learn about their jobs that are being posted on their website. As I said, networking and interview. These are complementary, so they are together under step 4. Or step 4, yeah. Step 5, ace the job interview. As I said, it's between you and the recruiter, or you and the hiring manager, you and the director of the organization, whoever you are being interviewed by. Ace the interview. Key strategies for successful interview. Know yourself. What can you do, what you cannot do? What you can do for yourself, what you can do for the organization that you're going to join. Know your resume well enough to enthusiastically speak about every minute detail. So make sure you read your resume 1,000,000 times. If it says, I did this in 2005, and the manager says, can you explain to me what you did in 2005? And you go, because you probably took it from somebody else's resume, or you didn't do it. So it's very important, rather than having a 7-page resume with lots of goalie in it, make it brief. And remember to put what you did, because one day at that interview, somebody's going to ask you. So you need to read your resume again and again and again to make sure that you understand everything that's written there and you happily speak about it, enthusiastically speak about it. And also know the company, the position, and the industry for which you're interviewing. I have a folder, and I always, when I go for interviews, I always carry a piece of paper, blank paper, and an envelope. And I always leave a thank you note for the person who interviewed me. Because after you leave the interview, the only thing you'll know about the person is the name. They will not give you the email address. They will not give you her phone number or his phone number. So how can you contact and say, thank you for spending 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 45 minutes based on how the interview went? And when they get the thank you note, they feel special and say, wow, he recognized that I spent this time with him and he really appreciates my effort. So thank you cards are very, very necessary. If you know the email, you can send a thank you email, right? But don't call. It's not a good thing to do. As I said previously, it's very difficult to be motivated during the job search process. But you need to understand a job advertised is not just advertised for you. So if you apply, there could be 400 different candidates applying for the same position. So for the recruiter to go through the 400 resumes and get back to you will take a few days. So you need to stay motivated. You should always say, Ram, Ram, Jai Ram, it is coming, it's coming. I have to be positive. I'm gonna get this job. I know this job is for me. Okay, but I will still search for the next one. Keep searching, doing the same thing. Keep motivated, organized, write down where all you have applied for which position. And go back and see, is there some difference between the job requirement and my resume? Try to fix it. So last one is the happy news when you finally finish all the interviews and get the job offer. And then you go to the company and you do some negotiation. Can you increase my salary by 2,000 or can you give me more bonus? Can you do this? Can you do that? Anyway, so that's the final stage of an effective job search process. When you close the offer, get the job, start working at that organization. I'm 1 minute above, I was given 45 minutes. I'll take another 2-3 minutes to finish this. Job search during a pandemic. Now we are all virtual. So how do we do it? How do we adapt ourselves to the present situation? Job search online, virtually, where companies are hiring. Focus on digital skills. Don't fumble on Zoom or Teams or things like that. Try to learn, set up your environment, be ready for the interview. Showcase your transferable skills. So if somebody asks you, oh, you're good in accounting, what about if there is an opening in, I don't know, in economics department, would you be able to help us out there? Oh, you seem to have a lot of computer skills. What if you can do a little bit of training on Zoom or things like that? So you say, yes, I can do it because I'm a nerd. I'm always wired. I'm always connected. I can do that. That's very interesting to me. So you could probably get a transferable skill or a temporary job till this pandemic is over. Finally, consider a new career path, something totally different. Volunteering, helping online, conducting classes online. So you could be in for a surprise as to what you are capable of doing. And this is our effort. What happens on the other side of the fence when you're doing a job search? Who are the parties involved? How do they work? So that's my penultimate slide, identify job openings. And then source can, this is from a recruitment agency or recruiter's eyes. They source candidates. So there are certain keywords. So now they don't read through your resume. There are applications or software that identify based on keywords if you're suitable for a job or not. So they do the online assessment, then they screen and shortlist you, and then they set up an interview. Once you are through with the interview, they check your references, they check professional references to see how you were at the previous companies or previous jobs you did. And they could even ask you for personal references. And then if everything goes well, you have a job offer because of following an effective job search process. And finally, you will join the company where you applied. It's called onboarding. So you go meet the team members, you have orientation, they send you a laptop, they give you, and there's a performance management. So they review every 6 months so that you get your bonus based on your performance. Thank you for listening and wishing you all the best in whatever you do. Be happy and kind to each other. Jai Shankar. Now I open a handoff to Rajiv Ma'am or whoever is handling the Q&A. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I mean, the floor is now open for all attendees to ask their questions. I'll ask the first one, if I may.
Please.
That was a very interesting tip about the paper and envelope that you keep ready for the thank you note. And I saw a lot of comments also appreciating that. I just wanted to know, do you write that in advance or do you do it after the interview where you can fill in something that you had, some notable point about the interview?
Yes. So normally I don't write beforehand because I don't know, sometimes you don't know whom you are meeting. Okay. Right. So when you finish the interview, you can say, Miss so-and-so or Mr. so-and-so, I was so nice that I met with you. We spent so much good time. I think it's, I'm fit for the company or something like. So it's basically you prepare at that point. Even if the interview doesn't go well, you still have to write a thank you letter saying nice things about the interview. That is part of our life, right?
And how do you hand it over?
Oh, so normally you give it to the receptionist or whoever is at the front desk and say, please give it to Mr. Rajimam or whoever is had the interview with you. Yeah.
Right. Okay, anyone else? Questions from the audience? Mahesh Ma'am would be more than happy to.
Mahesh Ma'am.
Yes.
Jai Shankar, excellent. This new facet, we see you in a new light and a brilliant light, I must say. Very nice
Thank
presentation. You, just a slightly cynical question in a way. Now, when I give a thank you note, is there a risk? Well, everything has risks. Is there a risk that it might be considered as part of my attempts to butter up to the person who interviewed me?
See, always there is a plus and minus to everything, right? You do your part.
Correct.
You do your part and leave it to the universe to give you an answer. Yeah. I always say I lost $65 million yesterday because there was a lottery here for $65 million, but I did not buy a ticket. You see? So if you don't buy a ticket, you don't get an opportunity to complain.
Yes, yes. Absolutely.
So the same way, you do your best and leave it to the universe for the rest.
Yes. No, of course, this is a very big takeaway point. I'll tell it to anybody any youngster who comes across my path. And
yes.
and who is looking for a job.
Yeah, when you say thank you, it is from the bottom of your heart most of the time. And it's a special, not everybody does it. Not everybody does it. So it is something special when you receive something like that. And it's handwritten. It's not by email, so you don't
Yes.
see the body language,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So
In fact, the entrepreneurs also could replicate that sentiment when they go for a first time presentation to a new potential client.
yes,
It's very much because that person has given time. So in principle, this can be done replicated there also. So
yeah,
it's an excellent point of view, excellent
thank you.
tip, I must say.
Thank you. Thank you.
Um, this is Milind Bajekal. I just had a question.
Sure.
Um, um, I'm around 54 now. I lost my job around 3 years back because the company closed down. I'm finding it a bit difficult at my age to, get a appropriate job. Any tips, any suggestions that you have from your side?
As you know, we are going through a difficult situation overall. And so it's a very good question. I wanted to cover it, but somehow I missed it. Is when I have a 7-page resume, it gives out my age. So what you have to do is to put your experience cleverly so that they do not recognize your age, at least for the first stage. In the interview, they will see you and apply for jobs at either mid-level or above mid-level. Don't apply for an entry job because they know that you will not be motivated with so many years of experience to do a entry-level job, even though you might be, you need a job. So you might be motivated to do the job, but the recruiter or the hiring manager will say, may not be. It's good for a youngster who had just graduated from university. He would be the right candidate. So apply for something that is at mid-level and above. And I know it's a difficult situation, and I know this is not the answer you're looking for, but that's the best I can tell you.
Yeah, thank you.
Mahesh ma'am, maybe he can contact you by email or something if you can give him further guidance or something.
Yeah, so I have already been contacted by many people about their difficulty in job search. Thank you. I will try to help you out. As you all know, we are in different countries and different time zones and different environments. So it will take a little bit of time for me to get back to you and help you. And because I'm not physically present, I like to talk to people, see their body language and understand them. So it's better for us to try to meet on Zoom or something like that and talk, but I will try to help as much as possible. Thank you. And this CSN, I wanted to rename it to be Chitrapur Successful Network. So I hope we all will be successful using this forum and all the different things you guys are doing. That's really wonderful.
That's brilliantly put. Thanks a lot, Mahesh ma'am.
Mahesh ma'am,
Yeah.
one as a matter of strategy in business when we are going, I may be looking for a contract of say 10 lakhs, but I may end up getting a contract of 1 lakh. But we go in and take it because it's gives me an additional entry in a new organization or setup. In a job, the problem probably is we if I've retired as a general manager, it is below my dignity to go for a say the assistant general manager or something like that. Though the pay may not be much. Would it be a good strategy to look at options which are below the level that I lost my job or I quit? I want to get back because
So
sometimes we can't get replaced at the same level.
correct. Very good question. So I remember I came from India in early 90s to Abu Dhabi, and I joined a US firm, and I was getting like, I was, I was all over the place, and I've done all kinds of stuff like multi-level marketing, everything that people want to sell. I joined, I did try to do, I'm Sagittarius, so I have no money sense. If I earn $10, I spend $15 before I get home. So I came to Abu Dhabi and I joined, I got a contract from an American firm, and that was my first major job. And they gave me like a lot of money as salary. And they said, the American firm put the contract in front of me and said, would you like to accept it? The only thing that I didn't like on that contract was my title. I said, oh, it's just called engineer. Can you call it systems engineer? So the boss, who was an American, pulled me aside and said, in life, title doesn't matter, money does. So based on your situation, if you're desperate, you need a job, it doesn't matter what you were before, right? If you have 5 options, all, general manager, assistant general manager, divisional manager, you can choose. But if you cannot, if you don't have an option, you need to put food on the plate, on the table. You need a job, go get it. Doesn't matter what you call. Title is not important.
Exactly.
That's very sensible advice.
Because we get attached to the title, right? We want to be called a manager. I did not. I worked for PricewaterhouseCoopers for many years. I didn't move from a senior auditor about to manager, because when you become a manager, there is a sale component. So when you go to do auditing with different companies, you need to sell some additional services. And I'm not good at sales. So I'm okay. I'm fine. You call me senior auditor, you call me auditor, I don't care. I'm not going to do sales. So I knew what I was capable of, what I can do. I don't want to become a manager and fail within the 6 months. In the performance management, it's going to come back and say, you didn't make any sales, so we are not going to give you the bonus. Why worry? Why bother? Right? So money, mullah, is important. Any other questions?
Hi, Mahesh, ma'am. This is Amrit here from Malaysia,
Hey,
Kuala
Amrit.
Lumpur. I have just 2 cent worth of advice to all those newly job seekers. I have, in fact, just this week, I have selected 11 of them into my team. I'm responsible to hire people into my team, working for a lot of telcos and all. And I've seen that these newcomers come in, maybe just they had out of college or whatever. They come in with what they've learned from the college, and generally they bring in the final year project saying that this is what I know. And they would have sat there for 4 months, 6 months, or sometimes 8 months, trying to get some kind of additional certifications from all those Udemy, Coursera, LinkedIn Learning, or whatever. But I have seen some brilliant guys who come in, not because they get good marks in college, and not just because they are not able to answer well in interviews, but they bring in some kind of sample portfolios they worked on to say that I have some kind of hands-on experience doing this. I want you to have a look at it. It's not as good as what the industry has. I have done some research. So like I did some research on banking. I know they have some kind of loan systems. This is a sample loan application form processing, recovery, monitoring, etc. I have done it. I know it's not up to industry level, but when these kids come there, I'm really interested to talk to them and bring them on the team, rather than a guy who says, I have a second rank for the state and I have a 96% in maths. But when I ask him questions like, are you fit for my organization? He still throws certificates on the table. So hope new kids who go there out in the market, please carry something in your spare time that you worked on. Could be a small program that does some kind of app or something. We want, because when you come in, I don't want to teach you what to do from scratch. Your knowledge is very limited. I want to know whether you can fit into my organization, how well you know something other than your academics. and your certifications and immediately apply that. Yeah, we have the 3 months onboarding training and all that, but how valuable are you to my company? And I see that through the portfolios or sample apps, sample stuff that they build, very specific to industry. They may not fit into that industry. In fact, I choose a guy to work in telecommunications, whereas he did a sample project on a banking industry, and it was not his final year, but he did it offline because he spoke to his dad. His dad is a banker, and dad told him, these are my problems in the bank. Can you sort it out? Use an app and then develop something in your spare time. He had no job for 1 year, but we still took him because of his enthusiasm of doing something to showcase some product he has. I know I'm talking very specific to IT here, but I don't know how other industries work. I mean, what can
Yeah,
they carry as portfolios?
so it is that's why you need to stand out. So as I said, it's not just you who are applying for a job. There are so many different people that apply for the same job. So their skills could be better than yours. That is why you didn't get the job. Certifications are not important because education is also not important. What is important is knowledge. You studied for 4 years in the university. What do you know? What did you understand? Did you rattamarify and pass the exam to be the first rank? One of my best friends, he never studied. He came fourth in instrumentation engineering. And his mom used to tell me, Mahesh, tell him to study. Mahesh, tell him to study. And I told him, like, hey, why didn't you study and come first? He said, he was busy working on his projects, right? So you need to do things that make you stand out. And as you rightly said, you need to include them in your portfolio. It's very, very important. And it also depends on the requirements of the company, right? So there might be companies that are desperate for people and they're not able to find. So they'll pick anybody who has applied and give them training and make sure they come up to the company's expectation. So there are always two sides to a coin. But the best way is to stand out and try to do the best in whatever you're doing. Resume, interview, closing the job offer.
Mahesh, one last thing.
Oh,
Sorry, I'll
sharing
take
that
time.
valuable perspective from the recruiter's point of view. That was so very useful. Thank you.
I have one last point, if you don't mind. I'll take 1 more minute
Sure.
of your time. I have also shortlisted a few candidates, not because they're just smart. Some of them are smart, but I also got not just thank you emails, but after some time, they do email me saying that since 1 month I have come for interview, I was just following up on the outcome. They're not asking me whether they're selected. They just say, I'm following up. At the same time, I would like to update you that I have completed a specific certification. I worked on some kind of part-time stuff, and I'm enhancing my knowledge. And then they'll even email me some kind of one paragraph thing that they've done. And they'll say, if you'd like to interview me second time, I'm available. Please provide me a few slots of dates. And you won't believe me, I have pushed the CVs aside. I pick it up back. Say, hey, oh, this guy emailed me. He remembers after 1 month, or maybe generally they do it after 15, 20 days. It's not that they're showing desperation, but they want to keep me updated saying, I have completed a new certification. I finished some online courses. I went, now they don't do any physical courses much, all online, right? And they keep me updated. Then I pick up the CVs back, like, hey, let me talk to him again. Oh, call him again and say,
Yeah, but it's also important if you interview 20 people and if you get 20 emails back or 19 emails back because you hired one person, that could lead to your desperation saying, oh my God, why 19 people are keep repeat? And if you have 3-4 positions to hire, that's 36 of them. So again, two sides of a coin. Always never compare yourself to what others are doing. It's always unique. Be unique. And it makes a lot of difference. Think about the recruiter. He gets 400 resumes for a job. If he's going to get 400 emails, what does he do? What is he going to do next? Is he going to read? Is he going to trash it? Is he going to reply to it? So you have to put yourself in their shoes also. I hope we haven't taken too much of everybody's time.
So if there are more questions, it's not too late. So if there's anyone else wanting to ask a question or suggest something, we could take another 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, Mahesh, this is Girish here. Hi.
Hi.
Hi. I just have one question. So you are in this salary negotiation scenario with the HR, and the HR asks a very specific question saying, what is the expectation in terms of salary that you have? So what is that advice that you give in terms of what is a good answer here? I mean, it's always tricky situation that you go ahead and tell him that I need 100% hike. I'm expecting 100% hike. It's a very ideal scenario. So what is the right answer, or I wouldn't say it's the right answer, a tip that you would do that should be a right answer in this kind of scenario? But it's a very open question.
No, that's a very good question. It's a very difficult situation again to be at the final stages. You know you're going to get the job, and you're going to like, if I ask 2,000 more, will they hire me? If I ask 2,000 more, will they say thank you very much, bye-bye? So that is why researching about that company and the industry is very important. So let's say you go for an accounting job and they offer you, just for argument's sake, they offer you 45,000 and you are expecting 48 because that's what the industry pays. You can say, oh yeah, 45 is good, but I know the industry pays 48. I checked this bank, that bank, that bank, all the three banks are paying 48. So anywhere 45, between 45 and 48 would be an ideal number that I would be looking at. So you need to go with facts. So if you just go there and say, I know other banks are paying 48 and they are only paying 46, the other person will say, oh, this guy's acting very smart because he's not done any research. He's just throwing out a number there. So better prepare yourself and go and say, anywhere, let's meet halfway, 47, 46, 46.5. It's up to you, but always go prepared. Don't just throw a number there. That would be my advice.
Thanks, Mesh.
I
Are
guess
there any
there are
more
no
questions? Anyone else? I guess not. So I request another of my colleagues in the task force, Gopinath Mavinkuru Imam, to, on behalf of all of us, to offer the vote of thanks.
Jai Shankar all. Thank you, Mahesh ma'am. First of all, I'll just read out a few words that I read in the chat box. Excellent, fantastic, wonderful, amazing, inspiring, and awesome. These are the words I picked up from the chat box. They are not mine. Thanks, Mahesh ma'am. It was really very good session, especially for youngsters of our community who have been, in this times of job search, trying to make a career out of their, in their lifetime. This, I would like to begin thanking the Kanara Saraswat Association. It's been doing a wonderful service to our community. Praveen Kadle ma'am, the president. Thanks to Kishore Masurkar ma'am, the vice president of KSA. And today we are joined by Jairam Khambatkund ma'am, chairman. Thanks for attending today. Thanks also to Rajan Kalyanpur ma'am, who has been involved in the technical aspects of arranging all these sessions. Thanks to Mayur Kalba for introducing the speaker. Thanks to Rajiv Kalyanpur ma'am and Gautam Amladi ma'am for talking about the CSN activities and conducting the sessions. Thanks to the Kanara Saraswat Association staff and all those who have spread the word around. I think today's attendance has been good because of the word that's been spread around in the social media, on Facebook, on WhatsApp groups. I've been sending and receiving them in all the groups. Thanks to the audience, especially, who have come and benefited out of this. Today's wonderful presentation by Mahesh, Nileshwar. Thanks for also those who have participated in the question and answer, who have added value to all the people who have been attending this session. Thanks. I hope I have not missed anyone. I would like to thank everyone if I missed, but a big thanks to the audience. Thank you.
Thank you. There was a question about my email ID. I don't know if Rajiv Ma'am will be sharing it, or should I share it on the on the chat?
Mahesh ma'am, go ahead and share it in the chat.
Okay, okay. And it's very important not it. Aikono visartati mantati. So we listen to a lot of things. There are I'm not an expert. I'm trying to help as much as I can, right? So there are a lot of TED Talks and this talk and that talk, podcasts. So the most important thing is, first step you've taken is a good one, is listening. Second one is putting it into action. If you don't put it into action, listening doesn't make any sense. So that's the final word from me. I put my email address on the chat box. You can contact me in any way you want for any of the job search processes, and I will try my best to help you as soon as possible. But it's depends on how much time I have.
So,
thank you, everyone.
Yeah, before taking the Sabha Samapti Prarthana, personal thanks from me to Mahesh ma'am for spending your valuable time for this workshop. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, everybody. I have my schoolmates here. I have my childhood friends here. It's great to see you all, and hope it was helpful. Thank you very much.
It was certainly very helpful, and also the perspective shared by Amrit ma'am also added value to the entire interactions.
So, yes. Thanks, Amrit.
In fact, Mahesh ma'am, I always call you Mahesh, but today Mahesh ma'am, you were my first teacher in the computer era in computer call, and that's how I got introduced to computers. If you remember.
Thank you. Yes.
It was in 1985 when I was just a kid.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so प्रार्थना घेऊ आता सभा समाप्तीचे. नंदन्तु साधका सर्वे विनश्यन्तु विदूषकाः अवस्था शाम्भवी मेस्तु प्रसन्नोस्तु गुरुः सदा सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखमाप्नुयात्. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Okay, so thanks again, everyone. See you all again.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Jai Shankar. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Mahesh ma'am.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much, Jai Shankar. Thank you so much, Jai Shankar.